90-day the single life. You know, you can always tell when somebody's having a very bad date. You can always tell when somebody's having a date that's rather icky. Or you can always tell when somebody's into someone more because of how they aesthetically look rather than who they really are. Let's not waste any more time and let's get into the first couple, or should I say the first single of the single life, and that being Sophie. Let's dive into her date with this man.
¿Yo tengo gimnasio?
Ah, que sí. Quiero ver tus trucos. Gimnasio trucos.
Talk about this. Nah.
Yeah, sí. Sí. Okay. Oh. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, yeah. Yes.
So, when the date, your first encounter, is about talking about gym tricks, so much to the point that therefore one of you ends up actually taking your top off, that tells you a lot about how that date lacked a lot of dialogue, how it lacked the most important things that we should desire to want from a first date, and that is a conversation regarding getting to know one another. What are your likes? What are your dislikes? Okay, what's your favorite film? What's your favorite childhood film? What's your favorite TV show? Are you a TV person? Do you binge watch? Are you more of a reader? What's your favorite book? You know, where was you born? When's your birthday? What's your favorite color? What's your love language? So there's so many things you can talk about on a first date to get to know someone, okay? So many things, you know? But instead of these two having an actual intellectual conversation regarding anything regarding themselves, the conversation is so boring and the date is so boring, so dull, that it goes to the point where Sophie's now sitting there and saying, so show me your gym tricks. Huh? Like this. Huh? And then all of a sudden now she's like, yeah, take your top off. Huh? That's not a date. What is this? This is like a circus. It's ridiculous. And to be honest with you, like just for context purposes, if I was to go on a date and a woman was asking me to flex, take off my top, I promise you now, the answer you're going to get from me is very, very simple. And it's going to be like, listen, if you want to see what's underneath the goods, you got to earn your way in the bedroom with me. That's the type of energy that I'll be given. And it's not because I see myself as the prize or anything like that. It's just that I respect myself enough to understand that if I'm ever going to show you myself in my birthday suit or see you in yours, it's going to be in a respectful manner. It's going to be in a scenario that makes sense. Do you see what I'm saying? All right. Unless, of course, if we go back 10 years ago when I used to go out and drink and then who cared? But as a mature person, come on now, we got to behave in a certain type of way. All right, we got to behave in the way we want to carry ourselves. Okay, we got to behave in the way we want to be respected, not behave in a way that is ick, cringe, achas, ugh, grotesque. But hey, let's see what else went down in this date with Sophie and this man.
Yes, I kind of miss Pedro.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Sometimes Pedro just needs time to calm down and think things through. Kind of gets over himself and sees that this is really nothing to be mad about. I hope I haven't pushed him away with this.
Now let's go back to what I just said. How you present yourself is exactly how you want someone to see you, how you want someone to respect you, how you want someone to take you on. Now, here's the thing though. Sophie has pretty much, I wouldn't say go as far as disrespected Pedro this whole trip, but she's made her intentions clear about what she wants and that she wants to explore other people. Something that she definitely told Pedro. But Pedro has also made it abundantly clear that he wants someone in his life that he can actually marry again and have children with and have a family with. That's why he brought Sophie to the DR, to not only spend more time with him, to get to know him more, but also to meet his family. But you see, Pedro has got this all wrong because, Pedro has got this all correct in terms of what he wants and how he wants to go about things, but he's picked the wrong person. And that is the biggest issue with Pedro here. So therefore, Pedro is literally disrespecting himself, disrespecting his wants, his needs, because he continues to have Sophie in his life, continues to chase somebody that is more than happy to not just once, but twice now go on a date with other guys. Okay, get close with other guys. And yet Sophie wants to sit here and say in the same conversation, in the same breath, you know what? These guys really realize that Pedro ain't so bad. If you need someone else to make you realize that somebody ain't so bad, then you don't deserve to have that person that ain't so bad, because you should have been recognized in the first place. But Sophie was only not recognizing it purely because she didn't want to settle with Pedro. She wants this to explode, which is completely fine. But it also explains and shows you that these two should have parted ways a long time ago. The moment Sophie told Pedro what the deal is, Pedro should have said, okay, cool, I'm good. But instead of saying, okay, cool, I'm good, he said it, but then returned. And now we see a clip for next week where he's going to return again for Sophie to have explained herself again. This is not the first time that she has done this. She explained herself before, and now she's going to explain herself again. Why are we going back and forth with two people always having to explain themselves time and time and time again? Let's just call it what it is. You two are just not in the same place. And that's just that. But for Sophie to sit there and to say that, oh, now maybe I recognize that I might want a little bit of Pedro as long as he calms down wanting me so much. What? How can you say that you want someone but they need to calm down how much they want you? Do you know how many people in this world want somebody to be obsessed with them? Does she not realize that? And if you're somebody who doesn't want that, that is fine. Let Pedro go and find someone else. But if we recall Sophie's relationship with Rob, she definitely is somebody that wants someone to be obsessed with her, which brings me to the final conclusion of my point. Sophie simply is not into Pedro. Never has been, never will be, and Pedro needs to wake the F up and move on with his life. It's just that simple. Unless, of course, he's doing this or doing all of this just for a paycheck, then hey, it is what it is. But now we're going to move on to, oh boy, Vanja and Tony. Tony, let's get into it.
For the last week, I have been really making it a priority to stay connected with Tony, and he's been great. Natalie and I were on our way to go listen to a DJ perform, and Tony started blowing up my phone. And I spent the whole night on the phone with Tony arguing.
You know, I've been very critical of Vanja from the very beginning of this season. But in this episode, enough is enough. Okay, this Tony guy needs to get a grip. He's going too far now. If you don't trust the woman, let the woman go. Listen, he knows and he knew that she was going to Ibiza to enjoy her life. Okay, she was going on vacay or wherever she's gone. I don't think it's Ibiza to be fair, but wherever she's gone. She went somewhere to enjoy her life simply because she's on vacation with her cousin and she's going to be dancing, she's going to be doing a whole lot of things, and it's just that simple. But Tony seems to always wanting to be on her line every single freaking second. Let the woman live. Let the woman have some fun. But why is it got an issue? Because of communication. Let's dive into it real quick.
I'm about to have a conversation with him again, and I just feel like we need to go over this and try.
I just feel like I'm not a priority. I thought communication would just be more than, hey, let's just talk for 5 or 10 minutes before I head out. That's not communication to me.
Whoo, boy. You know, I do love the conversation regarding communication. That topic is such a key topic. Such a key topic. Now, everybody has a different form of how they want to communicate. We understand this. And it's important that when you meet someone, you make it clear what type of communication that you require, that you need, that you desire. But here's the thing though. Sometimes the communication that you require, that you desire, that you want, isn't always going to be happening to that extent. Why? Well, look at it this way. If on a normal basis, he goes to work, she goes to work, and in that day, they are obviously communicating throughout that daytime, saying, hey, how are you? How's your day going? Blah, 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 blah. Cool. Usually you'll be doing small talk because you're both busy working, okay? You communicate for the day in short little bursts because you're working. Then when you get home, that's when you can have an actual big communication where you either ring each other or you sneak each other and you say, hey, so this is what happened today, or this is what I was thinking, blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. Now here's the thing. She is now currently away on vacation, right? AKA holiday. And because she's away, that means she's going to be very, very busy having a good time. Now, he may not be busy having a good time back in America doing his own thing, but that's on him, right? Point being is that you cannot sit there and say that her communication is not long enough or it is not enough. The fact that she's taken time out of her vacation to either answer your phone calls, to drop you a text, to give you a phone call, whether it's a text that is 1 or 2 texts and then you don't hear from her for another few hours because she's enjoying herself, so what? What if you ring or she rings you and the conversation's only for like 5 minutes? So what? She's got other people that she's obviously with. She's got a cousin there. She's obviously going to want to enjoy her time with the people that she's traveled with, as well as also enjoy her own time. So the fact that he has this ridiculous thing where he has to bombard her, he has to overshadow her, he has to literally just be this big shadow all over her is absolutely ridiculous. Let her have her freedom. Let her have her fun. The way he's behaving is becoming obsessive. It is becoming quite sad. It is becoming very clingerish, and it's just not nice. If somebody wants their time out, let them have their time out. Okay? But hey, this guy here, screaming massive issues, and it's not a good look.
Or you just feel like you just wanted to be single again, party and dance all night. Like, that's, to me, is not what I signed up for when we started for 2.5 weeks when we just started dating. I mean, that makes sense to me.
This is not what I signed up for. You know, this is why people have a communication at the very beginning, right, about people's lifestyles. But this is the funny thing. He says this is not what I signed up for. The interesting thing about Vanja and Tony is that they didn't have to have a first date to have a communication of getting to know each other the way Sophie would have needed to have done with that other guy. These two were friends for literally a year and a half prior to getting together. So within that timeline, Tony would have gotten to know who Vanja was, and Vanja would have gotten to know who Tony was. Now, of course, they would have gotten to know each other based on a friend's purposes, not necessarily on a romantic basis, which can change things slightly because we are more demanding to somebody that we are in a relationship with compared to somebody that we are friends with. So of course, right now he's becoming extremely more demanding because he now has it in a romantic fashion rather than in a friendship fashion, which is okay if the demanding is healthy. But unfortunately, the demanding he's got right now doesn't seem to be healthy because he's treating Vanja as if he doesn't know who the hell she is, as if she has not been transparent with him from the get-go. She made it clear that she's going to go away, she's going to be dancing, she's going to be having a good time, and yet he's having a whole meltdown at the fact that she's not calling him for long enough on the phone call. Sorry, what, is the phone call meant to be at least an hour or something? Man, get the hell out of here with this nonsense. This guy needs to literally just grow up. The grand scheme of it, the longer I listen to these two go back and forth, the more and more I would say that they just shouldn't be together. And I wouldn't say it's a case of where Vanja's personality is necessarily the issue, which I would have happily said most of the time. And I'm not saying it's necessarily the fact that it's his personality the issue. It's just the fact that they got personalities that just clash. And because they clash, neither one of them understand a middle ground of compromise. If they had the personalities that didn't clash so much, they'd be able to find mechanisms to compromise on certain things that can help them come together. But instead, we've got Tony saying, I need you to be at my beck and call at any given time. And then you got Vanja in another breath sitting and saying, well, Tony has to get out of the program and just accept me for who I am. Neither one of those mentalities are healthy. Both of those mentalities tell you everything that you need to know, is that these two just are not compatible. But let's continue.
Am I not trustworthy?
I say,
Question. Answer the question. Am I not trustworthy?
And we agree on communication twice a day and you're not doing it. What do you think the answer is, though?
Ooh, she asked a direct question. You couldn't even give a direct answer. Now you're saying because communication is like twice a day, oh, yeah, I'm basically telling you that I don't trust you. So why the hell are you with her then? Simple as that. Tony, just walk away. Vanja, just walk away. You're both wasting each other's time. It's just that simple. Now here's the thing, folks, before we move on to the next singles, anyway, let me go back to the first one with Sophie and Pedro. Do you believe that, I need to know, in that situation, do you believe either one of those two are either reality ready or moving mad? I know what I think. And then also when it comes to Vanja and Tony, it is very clear to me that their relationship should just come to an end. The question is, am I moving mad by saying this, or am I reality ready? I need you to let me know on that one, please. But now we're going to move on to the most moving mad cast member of the Single Life season thus far. In fact, not only is this person the most moving mad in my humble opinion, but the person that they are literally given chance after chance is moving mad even just as bad as them. Let's dive into it. If we haven't guessed it, Cortney and freaking Colt.
Colt again is kind of sad. Despite everything that happened, I still have love for him. I think we could have been great together.
Somebody please explain to me. How would they ever have been great together? I need to understand this. I want to know what is going through her mind. How does she thoroughly believe that her relationship with Colt could have been good? Where were any of these signs? Let me know. Moving Mad action number 1. Cortney saying this. Let's move on to the next one.
Courtney still hasn't left my mind, but seeing her again really just makes me feel a lot of emotions. There's just a lot of feelings that I have for her.
A lot of feelings you have for her, the feelings that you never actually decided to be 100% honest about because you was too busy talking to another person. Moving Mad number 2. Let's continue.
You didn't sleep with Diana?
Well,
Moving Mad number 3. Saying that you got all of emotion for Cortney, but you couldn't even sleep with Cortney. But yet you can sleep with Diana. Moving Mad number 3.
To know he couldn't get it up for me and then he banged her. So I was the issue. It wasn't his broken leg or his medication. I'm still upset that Colt had sex with Diana, but he called and begged me to go to dinner with him. I know.
You're upset about him sleeping with another woman, but you still end up going to dinner with him because he called and begged you? Before I even say Moving Mad number 4, let's find out why she even agreed in the first place.
I look like an idiot, but I'm kind of curious what he has to say. And also, like, who doesn't love a free steak?
Moving Mad number 4. You decided to agree to go out with this guy because, one, you was curious about what he has to say. Why is she curious? What else can he say to you that's going to be any different? What are you looking for him to say something that's going to make you change your mind to give him another chance? What are you looking for him to say something that's going to put you in a position where you can say, you know what, maybe I can forgive you and trust you again? What are you looking for? Hell, that's Moving Man number 5 just on top of that. And then also on top of that, because of free steak. So you're telling me a free steak is worth giving this man the time of day? Huh? Can you not cook yourself? Can you not take yourself out? Hold on a minute. She said this episode that she's been back on the dating websites. So why don't you find some of these guys on the dating website to take you out for free freaking steak? Which, to be fair, isn't even a good look, because now it says that you like to use people just to get free stuff. Moving Mad number 6. But anyway, like I said before, these two are the most moving mad people of this season. There is no such thing as being reality ready with these two, but let's continue.
I miss Courtney a lot.
Thank you.
While I'm having a lot of sex with Diana, there's still a lack of connection that I had with Courtney.
You see? Moving Man number 7. Now he's sitting there talking about how when I was Courtney, I was emotionally invested in her, but I couldn't sleep with her. But now I'm not with her and I'm with Diana. I can sleep with Diana, but I can't emotionally get invested in her the way I was with Courtney. Do you know what the funny thing is, ladies and gentlemen? Do you know what the funny thing is? Moving Mad number 8. It is easier for both men and women, but I'm going to speak about men because I'm a man myself. It is easier for a man to be aroused by a woman that he has emotional connection with. And not only is it easier for a man to be aroused by a woman that he has an emotional connection with, but the man who has an emotional connection with a woman is most likely going to last not as long in the bedroom with her, because you see, when you add physical attraction and emotion, and bear in mind, the emotion is always stronger than the physical attraction, I promise you now. When you put them together, when the man decides to go from being like this to this, I promise you now, when the action starts to happen, and this is TMI for you, this is a you problem, right? We're adults, ladies and gentlemen. And when he puts it in and he feels the physical touch of someone who he's emotionally connected with, you see this? Just give it a couple of 1, 2, 3, maybe if you're even lucky, maybe even a couple of more, and all of a sudden the man is... So understand this. Understand this. Everything that this man is saying is nothing but a lie. But of course, it's not a surprise. But it's nothing but a lie. I have emotional connection for Courtney, but I can't sleep with her. I can't be aroused. But I can get aroused for a Brazilian woman that I don't even like. emotionally. Here's the thing: men can go solid no matter whether or not they have a connection with the woman or not. And sometimes, hell, even if the woman ain't even good looking, if she just turns up and she's already open, the man's mind says, you know what, I might as well just dive in, to be fair. So really when it comes to the arousal thing, for the most part, that is literally one of the easiest things for men to do. But when it comes to lasting, it's easier for him to last with a woman that he's not emotionally connected with rather than the one that he is. But don't get it twisted though. Don't get it twisted. I don't want people to think that their husbands or boyfriends right now isn't into them because they're going for no. It's different because obviously once you've gone through that stage of, we learn how to now control it. Okay, so I hope you don't think that about your man. But there is also the anomaly or the exception. But then there is a man that may not be actually emotionally invested in you, but when he can still nice and quickly, purely because he's just inexperienced and he gets too excited whenever the idea of intimacy happens. So therefore, it just goes crazy. That's just a whole different category of a conversation. So don't get the two confused. But nonetheless, though, let's continue with this compulsive, full of a man liar cult.
Promise you, I'm not going to disappoint you again.
I cannot believe what I'm hearing right now. You just flew in from Brazil. You just told me you were this other girl, but now you're sitting here at dinner telling me you love me and you want
Moving Mad number 9. Hell, I'm gonna put 9 and 10 together in that one.
to be with me. I'm like, what the hell happened to Diana? I'm gonna be there for you, but it's like as friends. I want to believe Colt, but I'm never gonna trust him.
Now, some of you may sit there and say, you know what, maybe that one there is reality ready. The fact that she said that she's never going to trust him. I'm going to tell you why that is not reality ready, in my humble opinion. And of course, you can contest me. It is not reality ready because she's still giving this man the time of day. She's already said this literally last week, and I think the week before that. How many times does she have to keep saying that I'm not going to trust this man? But yet you keep giving the chances to be in your life, and you still want to keep in your life as a friend? As a friend? Who keeps people in their life that they don't trust? If I don't trust you, you're not in my life. It's just that simple. Okay, it's just that simple. Movie Mad number freaking 11. Look at these two. Huh? Pathetic. Absolutely, utterly pathetic. But hey, do what you will, ladies and gentlemen. We're now going to move on to the next one. And this one here is all about Gino. Him and Natalie definitely had an interesting conversation.
Understand why she has her doubts about Gino. If Gino makes an effort to show her that he is serious about me, that he really does want a second chance.
I'm curious, did Natalie ever really think that Gino was serious about her? Like, is there anything that he's ever done that shows a serious person? So she actually thought that this man was going... I'm speaking too soon. Let's continue.
That he really does want a second chance. I know that she would come around.
Yo, like, you and I make very good friends and that we could be very good friends together. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so are you breaking this off?
I mean, as far as boyfriend, girlfriend kind of thing, us.
You know, the fact that Natalie thought that Gino was going to put the work in to try and win over her daughter is diabolical. Did she forget a very... Maybe she doesn't know. You know, this is the same man that brought Jasmine to America and forgot or unintentionally did not unintentionally leave out her kids out of the visa. Listen. Jasmine herself in particular is a complete scumbag for not forcing Gino and making sure Gino had her kids on that visa. That is fully her fault. But Gino isn't stupid. He did not want her kids to be on that visa. He wanted Jasmine to come to the United States all by herself and start a family with her because he doesn't give a damn about her kids. The same way he doesn't give a damn about your daughter. Come on now. You actually thought this man was going to put the work in? Gino only cares about Gino. Come on now. Natalie.
Yeah, I didn't want to put in the work. I just don't think he has the emotional maturity. I don't know, I guess this is goodbye.
You know, Gino doesn't have the emotional maturity for a lot of things. And I agree with what she's saying right there. But at the same time, you also didn't have the emotional maturity to recognize that this guy didn't even deserve one chance of you. let alone giving him a second chance and then a third chance. She wants to talk about what's called mature. What was it? What did she say again? My bad.
Emotional maturity.
She wants to talk about emotional immaturity, right? She wants to talk about that. But here's the thing, though. You decided to meet this guy. Why? We'll never know. You came into the first season and you told him that unless Jasmine's out of the picture, you don't want nothing to do with him, which was fantastic. You then found out that Jasmine was still in the picture and you had altercation with her. Then you decided to tell him to F off, which was fantastic. But then you came back for this season. You found out he was still speaking to other women. But guess what? You still gave him another chance and then slept with him back to back. You want to talk about emotional maturity? Someone who's emotionally mature would have literally never spoke to this man after the first incidents. But someone with an emotional maturity would have been able to suss this guy from the very moment they spoke to him that this guy isn't right in the head. So the fact that you got this far with him, she needs to start focusing on her own emotional immaturity rather than Gino's one. Yeah, that's the one. And as she said, she's only ever exposed her daughter to toxic relationships, and yet you still wanted to bring another toxic relationship to your daughter's life. Yeah. While she's out there judging Gino, which she wasn't wrong to do so, she needs to make sure that she's applying some of these things to herself. Yeah.
I guess this is goodbye. I'm done with mediocre men. I am done with the bare minimum because I really set the bar low for myself, and I 100% think I deserve way better than Gino.
I mean, aesthetically, I agree, but the mature part, I don't know about that one because you gave this man a chance. So yeah, that was just wow. But hey, let me know though. Was you surprised when Gino decided to end things off with Natalie or not? And let me know, do you think Natalie's been moving mad or is she being reality ready? Yeah, I don't think a day's ever going to come where we are going to finish a season where we say that this person is reality ready. But hey, it is what it is. Let's dive into the next one. And this one is all about Kimberly. Kimberly made it to the United Kingdom.
Relationships, men have made me feel really insecure. Not just about my looks, but just about my whole vibe. I want somebody that's going to make me feel attractive, desirable, despite all my flaws and all my past.
All right, cool. So let's just touch on that real quick. So she's been in relations in the past with men that have made her feel bad about her appearance as well as her vibe. The question is though, yes, we know she's lost a little bit of weight, but girls acting as if she's like lost, it is what it is. Let me not tear someone down, you know what I mean? You've done well with your weight loss, and I like the fact that you're now more confident in yourself. Love that for you, okay? So she's lost a little bit of weight, she's feeling more confident. That is fantastic, but that is you changing one part of you, and that is the outside of you, the exterior of you. The question is, you said vibe. Have you changed your vibe? That is the key question itself in particular. Now, unfortunately, this season, we have experienced more about Kimberly's personal life with the adoption than we have in terms of her vibe being different. So the question is, I won't say too much right now. We'll let the season play a little bit longer for her and this relationship with this guy Wayne from the UK, and let us see if her vibe is now different. If she can bring a vibe that is now different, then I guess we'll be able to sit and say, you know what, maybe Kimberly has changed her ways. But as of right now, if you was to ask me, I would say that I don't see it, and I don't think it's ever gonna happen. But hey, that's just an assumption. I hope to be proven wrong. Because to be honest with you, to be put in a position where not only have you been criticized for your appearance, but also your vibe, that's really bad. Because some people who don't have the looks always praise about their personality for some people. And then there's some people who have the looks and then criticize for their personality. And then there's people who are lucky enough to have a bit of both, you know what I mean? Either way though, Kimberly's one of those people that literally was criticized for her looks and her personality. That is crazy. Don't think I've come across that very often in my life, but I could be wrong. Either way though, let's see obviously what happens. Can she change her vibe, and can she finally be with somebody that can appreciate her for all of her perfections and imperfections, as she says? I guess only time will tell, but she can't expect that to happen without her putting in some work to show that, you know, she's somebody that is worthy of what she wants from a man, if you know what I mean. But either way though, let me know your thoughts and we can mostly talk about it. But hey, I can't believe that she was in the UK. Yeah. Anyway, with that being said though, thank you so much for your time. Don't forget to hype the video, like the video, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you guys down there. Have a great freaking day.